Salvete discipuli, quid agitus?
Bene magistra, et quid agis?
Ego etiam me bene abeo. Gratias vobis. Last lesson, we reviewed the present stem and the present tense endings. We also learned that the indicative is used for direct, declarative speech, and that the present system is comprised of the present, imperfect, and future tenses, which are all united by the fact that they all use the same present stem that is found by going to the second PP and dropping the RE. Today, discipuli, we are going to talk about sheep. Sheep? That's absurd! Alright, sure, but before we get to the farm animals, let's look back at the present tense endings that we learned in the last unit. Remember, the endings were OST, musticenti. Again, that's OST, musticenti. Find your present stem by going to the second PP and chopping off the RE. Then you add the OST, musticenti. The cool thing is that these OST endings show up again and again and again in Latin. They are the basis for lots of other sets of endings. The only thing that sometimes deviates from the pattern is that the first person singular O can sometimes look like an M in certain tenses. The present tense endings are always OST, but when these endings are adapted to other tenses, sometimes the O becomes an M. If that's confusing or doesn't make any sense, that's fine. Just stay tuned and it should all come together. Okay, so let's get back to this whole farm animal situation. Scholars, what sound does a sheep make? What was that again? That's right. Ba. B-A. Ba. And that sheep sound, that ba, is the theme for the imperfect tense endings. In this lesson, we're just learning the actual endings, the forms for the imperfect tense. Next lesson, we'll learn how to translate them. Okay, back to the sheep. We already know that the imperfect tense is part of the present system. We also know that the main thing that all present system verbs have in common is the present stem, which you find by going to the second PP and chopping off the RE. So for the imperfect tense, you find the stem by going to the second PP and dropping off the RE. Then comes the sheep parade, because the next thing you do for all forms, first, second, and third person singular and plural, is you add that sheep noise onto the end. That's right, you add a ba, a B-A. Last thing you do is you add the personal endings that you already know onto the end. That's right, the good old OST, musticenti. Now I'm not going to give you the imperfect endings just like that. In the exercise following the video, I want you to follow the steps that we discussed and try to figure out the imperfect tense endings on your own. But there's one trick. You have to carefully remember everything we talked about in this video if you want to get the endings right. Bonum fortunam. And next time I will reveal the correct imperfect tense endings and we'll learn how to translate them.